Hello and welcome everyone to another episode. Yes, so I've decided to launch my communications network grid, and we're going to be getting a little bit more in depth with this, at least a little bit for this episode. And I plan on showing you guys a few little tricks that I've learned launching these things. It does kind of have a little bit of a learning curve to it, and it is a little bit... It does take a little bit of time to actually set this up and everything else, but I'm going to go through it with just one satellite. Well, I should say two, but whatever. So if you guys listen to my background, you can hear one of the first glitches I've actually had to deal with this game, and you can hear the audio constantly looping and looping and looping, and I don't really know what that is, to be honest. I have actually been on KSP forums. I've been doing a lot of searching and trying to figure out exactly what this is, and apparently it's some kind of bug with the Unity engine. You know, I don't want to get overly technical with you guys or anything like that. I mean, I really don't even know what these people were telling me, but basically the engine that runs the game is having some kind of a problem, and my main question to you is that it basically seems to be happening off of the launch pad, and as soon as I get into space, for the most part everything kind of clears up and it's usually a lot better. But you know, I've been experiencing this bug now for a little bit, and that was a little weird. But I've been experiencing this bug now for a bit, and it's just absolutely annoying. It doesn't break the gameplay, because you can see it really doesn't affect anything else as far as like the gameplay itself. It's just the sound itself has that little bit of a... It almost like stops for a second, and then it starts again. It's the weirdest thing. I've been trying to solve it the best way I can, looking through graphics drivers, possible sound drivers, DirectX, everything, and I really just couldn't come to a conclusion on really what was causing it, and I've been trying all day. So initially this weekend I had planned that I was going to release basically 2 videos a day. And, you know, maybe during this week I'll have 1 day or 2 days where I release 2 videos. But, you know, I had a basic plan of just recording all day for the day, today, basically, which is Saturday. So, because of all this unknown stuff that's been happening, I couldn't record anything. I couldn't really do very much besides sit here and violently want to just destroy my computer. So it really didn't help out in any kind of a way, the reason why it's happening. But it has to do with the update, obviously. I ended up trying to update to the latest because there was a patch released a day after 0.21, and for some reason it only got even worse after that. So I just gave up on trying to solve it and trying to figure out exactly what is going on. I mean, even in this map screen, you guys have noticed there's no engine sounds or anything like that. So don't know what's going on. You know, hopefully there's some kind of a fix or something that happens within the next couple days, or you know, whenever it's even possible. So whatever, you know, there's not much I can do about it. You know, I've tried messing around with a lot of things. I thought it was my computer itself, and apparently it is in fact the engine for the game. So there's nothing you can do about it. That's just the way the game's gonna run. So yeah, back to our mission at hand. I plan on launching a communication network, and I want to get pretty far out there. I'm thinking somewhere around 500 is going to be the optimal, and I'm going to launch one of my first satellites. It's going to be a communication satellite. Once again, I know communications in this game really don't matter, and you know, like it's not like it actually affects something in the game. It really hasn't. It serves almost no purpose, but I want to do this mostly because I think it's awesome, and I've been wanting to do something like this for a long time. So the fact that I can get it done, and through a means that actually makes it look like an actual communications network. If you guys want to see more on it, I mean, I'm pretty much going to set it up after, you know, this video is done and everything else too. So I'm only going to do 2 of the 4 satellites that I have on board. So it really isn't going to change so much. The only problem I encounter with this launching platform is the fact that there is 4 satellites, and the fact that when you deploy one of them, it becomes unbalanced for a brief period. So there's not very much you can do about that. Alright, so 500, let's bring this out a little bit. I think I'll speed up a little bit here. Let's bring this up to 500 as well. Do a little burn. Alright, there we go. I'm not going to change much right now. We gotta set the moon as a target. And, wow, that looks weird. So let's see, how much fuel do we have? We should be relatively good with fuel. Alright, yeah, we're pretty good. So I'm going to bring this out just a little bit more. I'm not going to really try getting this thing just absolutely spot on, because it's just not going to happen. With these big engines like this, it's just impossible to do calculated, precise, you know, just almost spot on burn. It just doesn't happen. So you kind of just gotta deal with what you get. With the Poodle engines, though, I mean, Jesus, you could just... I mean, the Poodle engine's still not as precise, but when you're talking about engines being somewhat precise, that one works out even better. And this is looking pretty good the way it is right now. So I'm going to leave it right here as it is. We are going to get lined up for a burn to correct our descending node. Well, I should say our inclination, just in general. We want our inclination to be perfect with the moon. So, when you have a, what is it, like a mech jeb, or, you know, something else, a lot of these things that I'm doing, and that I'm going to be doing, basically mech jeb will do for you. And, you know, setting up a network like this, like mech jeb can do it for you flawlessly. So, I mean, it might not turn a lot of people on the way that I'm doing it, but this is, you know, I don't want to use any mods for this game. I never have. And flying in this game is, you know, to me, honestly, it's easier, I think. You know, with certain things like this, where things have to be a little precise and you want to be kind of spot on with everything, I can understand the use of mech jeb. But I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to do it manually, even though it's not going to be 100% flawless in any kind of way. Whatever. So, let's bring this over. We'll do our inclination burn, and then we'll launch our first satellite shortly after that. I'm going to actually release the satellite a little bit in a different spot here. I'm so used to turning off my SAS too. It's like a disease now. So, let's see. We need 23 meters a second. Alright, let's get this burn underway. Shouldn't be too bad. There we go. Actually, I'll use RCS to fix that a little bit. bring that back up just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. So this is at 0. This is completely lined up with the moon, which is basically at a 0 inclination, like dead on. Like if you just took off, you don't have to adjust any of your inclination in any kind of way. Now, unless if you just absolutely destroy it and you take off, going some crazy, just doing some crazy stuff. That's all I can say. Now, alright. This is at 52 now because of the burn that we had to do. Now what I'm going to do is, it's going to be a little unconventional, I guess. We need to line up this with 500 and get this to about 500. So that, it's going to take a little bit of time, guys. This is where precision, once again, like I said, with something like MechJeb, it really does kind of take the cake, I should say, you know, with things like this. It's, if not the very best way to do something like this. So just line this up the best we can here, and then we're gonna do, you know, speed up here a little bit, and then I'm gonna use RCS to bring that down a little bit. Alright, yep, and that's gonna shift like it normally does. Another mild annoyance with this game, basically these will shift sometimes just at random, like as you get close to them. I really don't understand why that kind of happens too, but it really is just generally always annoying that it happens. So this is lined up probably the best we're gonna get right now. We'll kind of knock it in there a little bit more, but now we just gotta bring this down to 500 using RCS, and we gotta knock this back. There we go. Bring PE down, and we just need to bring the AP down to 550, or yeah, 500's good, like somewhere around 500. 520 or 500,000 to 200. There we go. Now, once we get on this side, this is going to move again, obviously. I don't think it's going to change it in any kind of way, but yeah, see, if we slow down, it's going to jump around here, and I really don't understand why it does that. Very annoying. So, we got to bring this up to 500. And I'm just using RCS right now. I want to keep my main engine on just for a little bit. So, this is 5130, and this is at 5206. So it's a really, really good orbit. Let's see. Now this is basically what happens when you get them insanely close. This is 5206 and 190. So there's only 16 meters. Was it? Yeah, 16 meter difference from one side to the other, and the computer just freaks out. It's like taking a crap right now. It just doesn't know what to do. But right now we're gonna dump our first satellite. I'm gonna wait until we get to our inclination, actually, because this is where we're gonna make a lot of changes. Right here is at our inclination. So you can see this just changed again. Only, you know, it always changes, so there's really nothing you can do about it. So as long as our inclination's at 0, I'm more concerned with that. I can always fix the altitude later. So let's get rid of our first one, and we're gonna get set up for our next burn, which we need to burn out to 45. We need to bring our inclination up 45 degrees. So let's bring this up, up. And one thing you'll notice, when you're increasing your inclination, you're also increasing your altitude on the other side and that's one thing to take note of. So increasing our inclination to 30, and then if you watch, this is retrograde. I'm just bringing that down, so that changed the inclination just by, reducing the amount of speed. So we'll bring this down a little bit more. This is not going to be precise in this sense, at least for now. We're just going to be doing a burn to get it at 45 degrees, and that's all we're going to be doing, basically. So we just need 45. There's 41, 42, and all this other stuff will be fixed once we reach that inclination. That's basically how I've been doing it. So alright, there's 45, 46. Yeah, I passed it without even looking. Let's see, 46, bring this down, bring that down, bring this down a lot. There we go. Now, I just don't want to go, I don't want to go underneath this without realizing it, and that's the only part that's actually kind of annoying about doing this. So, let's see, that's at 45. I'm going to use the SAS just to bring us into a better inclination, or well, at least shift us towards that inclination there. And we'll start our burn, and then we're going to probably end up having to jettison the tank that we have. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Wow, explosions, good things. So this is going to be a little bit off. Everything's going to be off by a little bit, and there's no way to fix that, obviously, but at least for now. There will be a way to fix it later. I will be showing that. So, yeah. I'm really hoping that there's some kind of new update that's going to be coming out soon. That's my main concern right now. I really don't like how there's this audio glitch. It actually is slightly annoying, but most of the time when I play this game, I'm wearing a headset. The sound is usually turned really low because the sounds of the engines actually kind of give me a headache sometimes, so it really just depends. But as you can see too, the SAS itself, I'm not liking it a little bit. It's not really it really has problems holding its heading, especially in space. Really just has problems with certain things. Now let's check this. Like I said, it's going to be off by a little bit, but this can always be fixed later, and I will show how to fix that as well. So I'm just going to bring this up. Usually you want to have one point where they intersect, or at least come very close where they intersect, and then just kind of make all the other points meet up. So it all depends. But the newer update, I really don't know much about it, exactly what it fixes and what it entails as far as improving game performance. I really just don't know. So it could be something that actually kind of fixes my problem right now, and I'm just kind of like nagging about something that I could have had fixed already, but I tried it already, and it just didn't work out that well. I was really disappointed, and not to mention, I felt like I lost an entire day because I just basically sat around and did nothing, when I could have been, installing my new version of the game and actually gotten some stuff done. Because it kind of sucks with the amount of things that I need to get done when you can't really just do anything at all. So this is getting pretty close though. I'm gonna start throttling back a little bit. There we go. We hit our 45 degrees. As you can see, our orbit is a little off. These 2 points do actually have somewhat of an intersection here, but this altitude is funky, and this one is probably way far off. Yes, it is. So how do we fix that? We fix that without RCS, and we fix that without this main spacecraft here. So you have to look at it like we have a same kind of regular orbit around the planet, and if you look at it that way, all we have to do is bring these two down to 500 and it's basically fixed. So I'm gonna jettison this one right here, switch craft obviously, and just kind of bring this over a little bit. We do have SAS and all that other good stuff on this thing, so, and I also have an ion engine and the smaller engine that was just actually recently added to the game. It does need to be activated though. I'll kill the engine just so I don't decouple anything or cause any problems. So I have launched this mission before, so I am a little bit briefed on how to navigate and, you know, everything else with this, because I did screw up a couple times and it really did suck. Now I'm gonna bring this thing down to 500, and yeah, that's not even down to 500. Let's get this down to 505. It really is hard to get it like exactly spot on. Here we go. Yeah, with the SAS itself, it really does kind of have some funky features about it. I'm not really liking certain parts of it, I guess. I just really am not. But I'm going to wait for the spacecraft as well. The spacecraft is going to come around, and once it gets to about right here, that's when I'm going to detach and get for my 90-degree mark. Now, to have all these meet up exactly in the middle, I will probably show that in my next episode, because this is going to run on a little bit too long. So there's everything. Our burn's coming up in 34 minutes, or 34 seconds. 34 minutes. That's crazy. But yeah, you know, I'm recording right now. It's kind of late, and I didn't really want to record tonight, but I ended up getting the game working a little bit, so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take advantage of this right now. So, bring this down to 500, please. I don't know the exact orbit that we have, though. It was like 500 and something like that. I think it was somewhere around here. I forget real easily. So, let's just switch craft here. This is, alright, yeah, no. Not switch craft. I thought I switched craft. Bring this around. And you can see even on this side now that they meet up pretty freaking close. I mean, if I zoom it all the way in, they basically almost have intersecting lines. It's close enough. If it was spot on, that's, you know, I really don't think manually setting this up that it would ever be able to be 100% spot on, so that's just me though. We'll set this as target just to check our inclination. Okay, it's changed just a little bit, and that's fixable too, so it's not that big of a deal. Now we need to burn prograde there. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, there we go. Start our burn here. Alright, now you can see that this has moved, and there's a way to fix that. Now you switch over to translation controls with RCS, and if you look with the translation controls, I don't know why, what is this thing out of RCS? Is it turned off? No, we have no RCS ports. Amazing. Probably forgot to add those in the VAB. Whatever, we'll fix it different ways. So this is 5.2, and this is at 4.9. So flip this over this way and do a short burst. Nope, that's not working, so we gotta keep just flipping around until we get this right, which is gonna suck a little bit, but whatever. See, that's not decreasing it. It's definitely decreasing it on this side a little bit, but not by a good amount. So it's also kind of screwing it up over here. Yeah. So I'm gonna just kind of speed things up here until I can figure this out a little bit better. Alright, that is looking good. And you know what, I'm going to do an orbit around. And just see if I can catch it on this side or something real quick. I know it's probably not going to be possible, but whatever. Kind of sucks that we have no RCS, or at least we just can't even use the RCS we have. So I totally didn't even realize that when I set this thing up. So little things that you don't notice. So if I bring this over here and do my burn, nope, that's not gonna bring it the way I want it. So I have to bring it over here. Yeah, you know what? These are pretty close. I mean, I'll do a little bit more. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to leave it like this. This is actually pretty good. I did equip this with a ion engine to, you know, if I want to, I can just kind of adjust it later. So I'm going to remove whatever node I got here, get rid of this, and we're just going to adjust it with the inclination here. I don't think it's going to throw anything off, really. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it's going to... Yeah, I don't think it should affect anything, so... Just leave this here, and then all we got to do is wait for our burn. 1.8 meters a second. It's nothing, so... Yeah. And you can see, too, that these satellites, they basically almost meet up. I mean, it's close, but you can tell that there's, you know, there's a slight gap between them. It's not that big of a deal, though, so I'll cover the satellite, too, a little bit once we decouple here in a second, so... Alright, get rid of this. Alright, it's at 45 degrees already. Perfect. So, we'll decouple. Just swing it over here a second. There we go. And see you later. See, I don't know why it keeps it on this spacecraft too. This has got the command module on it and everything else, so I don't really understand why it keeps it on this one. So, but this thing has an ion engine on it. I did add all the science package stuff to it, along with the communications satellite. You know, this is going to be the basic communication satellite for Kerbal, And if this one works out pretty well, which, I mean, it already has, it's just I've noticed a few flaws in it that were overlooked in the construction for, you know, in the VAB, which, you know, no RCS ports. It's a stupid mistake, so. But overall, this thing is working pretty well. I'm going to launch the rest of them, but this is a basic way to set up a communications grid, you know, around Kerbin or wherever else you want to set it up. And it's worked out pretty well for me so far. So anyways, if you like what you see here, subscribe. To all you new people, welcome. And yeah, I will see you next time.